Hey guys, so I've been looking for a tutorial or information on this for the longest while before pulling the trigger and getting these Fishman Fluence Modern pickups, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I decided I'll make a video so that the next person who's looking for this information won't have any issues. So what we have here is an Epiphone Les Paul Modern from the Inspired by Gibson range that came out recently, and I've had a set of EMGs that I've upgraded this guitar with from the stock pickups, and that set of EMGs was the Fat 55 set, and it came with the pots and the solderless wiring kit and everything, so quick connect cables, all that stuff, right, which operated really good. And because I play high gain music predominantly, I decided I'll go with a set of Fishman Fluence Moderns in here, and I've wired all of this up using the exact EMG Solderless Wiring Kit that came with those EMG Fat 55 pickups, and I've replaced them with the Fishman. So I haven't done any wiring here, but there are a couple of things to note. So in short, these pickups will fit in here one for one. So if we look here, and I'm just going to pull this out just for simplicity's sake. This is what the back of a Fishman Fluence looks like, and you've got a couple of options here. So this section here is your output of the pickup, and then you've got a couple of sections here for voice to high frequency tilt, and this V1 gain, which is kind of like a reduced gain version, or it's a weird thing. I really haven't used it, so I really don't know too much about it, but those are other optional voices and changes and stuff that you can possibly put in here. And then there's also some coil tap stuff that you can use here to possibly do it. I haven't done any of that, right? I just wanted the original voice one for high gain music, and that's all I wanted. I didn't really care about any of the other stuff. So to put this in, like the EMG, this is what the quick connector cable looks like. And already we got the red, which is your power cable, black is your ground, and the white is your output. So that's EMG's wiring. And if you look here, it's so convenient that the Fishman Fluence follows the sort of same thing. So as always, arrow facing up, you plug this into the pickup like so, and pickup's installed. Pretty much that's it, right? So I'm just gonna put in one screw just to hold this thing in place while I swap the guitar over, so you can have a look at the control cavity. So just one screw should be enough. So I'm gonna swap this bad boy around, and sorry, just get this in place. All right, so as you can see inside my control cavity here, we've got our quick connect cables. So now all this is wired exactly like the instructions say you should. So what I would suggest is those wiring kits come with instructions that you can easily get online. So I would go through one of those instructions, figure out your configuration, wire it as per the instructions, right? As your starting point. So with your jack, your battery, and all of that stuff, just, follow the instructions and get it going. And there's one modification that you got to do, which I'm going to show you right now, if you want to get Fishman Fluences in here. So this little thing here is the bus, right? And this kind of like does all the magic of connecting, or I don't know if I got the mess of cables here. I don't know if you can really see that, this section here. So it's going to do it this way. So you've got all your different connections that plug into the various things. This is all explained detailed in the manual, and I'm not going to go over that now, but this little cable that comes over here, that's coming from the toggle switch. Now the toggle switch has not got any plugs on it, it's just wires. So I've traced the wiring from the toggle switch, and I've plugged them sort of like into these wiring here, which is clearly labeled. I mean, you just use a screwdriver to open this up, insert the cable, and plug it down. There is a ground wire that comes from your switch into here. This goes into one of these two connectors, which essentially is for any ground connections that you might have in your circuit. Now, EMG pickups are grounded. The pickups themselves are internally grounded, so you do not need a bridge ground wire, which is what this tiny cable here is. As you can see, if you trace this cable, it's coming through that tiny hole in the guitar that comes from the bridge, and that grounds the strings. Now, if you look at the Fishman Fluence wiring diagrams, they all say you need a bridge ground wire. So in order to reuse this, we have to still include the bridge wire, ground wire, which is what this is. And conveniently, there's a second option or second port here that you can use for a bridge ground wire. So all I've done is connected my bridge ground wire into this port here, and that's it. The pickups will work, and there's no noise. I mean, obviously I've tested this out quite a bit already. There's no noise, and everything works as it should, quite flawlessly, I might add. So a couple of things. What do you get with this wiring, and what don't you get with this wiring? So the first thing to note is that any of the voices that you want with this particular set of pickups and this wiring, you will not get any of the voices, additional voices. You will only get the standard voice 1 and voice 1. EMG do have a push-pull pot that they use for some of their dual mode pickups that they do have already. So maybe you could possibly get one of those pickups and use one of the quick connect cables that come with the Fishman Fluences to hook up into those. Or use the quick connect cables that come with it, or get a couple of extra quick connect cables so that you can use those push-pull. I want to try it out in the future, but I'm kind of happy with just where this is at the moment. I don't really need voice 2 or anything beyond that, so I'm just going to stick with this. So, I mean, that's the only limitation you get. It's just one voice, volume, tone, volume, and the default sounds of these pickups, and that's it. And they work flawlessly. And for anyone who's looking for an answer, yes, you can use Fishman Fluence pickups with an EMG wireless solderless kit, and the only thing you got to do extra is plug in the bridge ground wire into the little ground port on the bus, and you're golden.